Now this is a very special family recipe. Now it's called French biscuits. I have no idea why, but it's always in my family that my mum always makes. I want to show you how to make it. It's really easy, but when you serve them up, people will really think they're something amazing and fancy. And honestly, they're very, very delicious. With is chopping up our nuts. You can use just almonds. I'm going to mix it up and use a little bit of pistachio because I really like the green color that comes out of them. Pop them all into the bowl. And then we're just going to dry roast them in the Thermomix for 8 minutes. 100 degrees on speed 1. Now once you've cooked them, you need to let them cool down until the temperature goes right down, because we're going to chop them, and if you leave them too hot, they'll turn into mush when you chop them. So you really need to wait till they cool down. So we're just going to chop them up. I'm going to put it onto the turbo for 2 seconds and then chop those up. So you'll see how beautiful they chop up. And I'm just going to set those aside. Now, if your butter's not soft, you can soften it in the Thermomix. Just soften it for 1 minute, 60 seconds, speed 3. My butter's already pretty soft, so I'm going to skip that step. And I'm going to add in 190 grams of just pure cream. Now I've got 2 eggs as well, 160 grams of brown sugar, 250 grams of white sugar, and then we're just going to mix that up for 10 seconds on speed 5. Now I'm going to add in some brandy, just 30 grams. And then I've got a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of vanilla. Now mix that one up for 30 seconds on speed 6. Now just add your self-raising flours, it's 700 grams. And then give that a mix for 10 seconds on speed 6. We don't want to over mix this, so just make sure you're watching how long you're mixing it for. I'm just going to scrape that down and mix it again. Just keep scraping it and mixing it until it's blended, but just don't over blend it. You can see how I'm just pushing all the flour right down so it's able to mix it. really sticky mixture, so you might not get all the flour completely mixed in, but I'll show you when I tip it into this bowl what it looks like. Now you can sort of see there's still a little bit of flour on top, but that's totally fine. What I want you to do is just tip it into the bowl. You can use the little knob underneath to really loosen it. And then just scrape the rest out. Just going to flick the rest of that mixture off those blades. Mix it all together so that sticky bottom part can really get blended in. Now don't worry that it's sticky. I know you're thinking, how am I going to make biscuits out of this? Once you've got as much as you can out, just grab a towel and place it on top and leave it like that for 20 minutes. So once your dough for your French biscuit has been sitting there for 20 minutes, you're going to roll them out. So we're going to grab a tablespoon and put that into your nut mixture. So I've just added a little bit of my nut mixture onto a plate so it's easier to work with. The dough should be not as sticky as it was originally. What I start to do is just flip it so it's coated, and then sort of shape it with my fingers into like a U shape. Now these will rise a lot, so just keep that in mind when you're doing spaces. Make sure you get all the ends and things as well. And then just make it into sort of like a U shape. That's just how we've always done it. You can do different shapes, but this is how we've always done them. And then just continue until you've worked through all the mixture. So once your tray is full, put it into the oven for about 10 or 15 minutes. You'll see they'll rise beautifully and they'll go a little bit brown. So once all of your French biscuits have been cooked and just slightly cooled down, put them all back into one tray and pop them into the hot oven that's been turned off. Because what we want to do is create a really crunchy biscuit. When you put them back into the oven, they just become a lot crunchier. So just make sure the oven's turned off, but it's still hot. Pop them in and just leave them until the oven's cool. It'll take at least 2 hours for that to happen.